Hello and welcome to this week's edition of No Access Required. Well, the Summer Game Fest came and went, and Jeff Keighley, well, he did himself proud. It wasn't stellar, but what is these days? It was a good, solid offering, and frankly, had something in it to please everyone. Likewise, the Xbox Games Showcase has also come and gone. The dust has settled around that, and wow, Asher Sharma seems to be firing on all cylinders again. I'm quite a big critic of Satya Nadella, but in this particular instance, his appointment of Asher Sharma to the Xbox head seat seems to be paying dividends. Talking of paying dividends, the latest trailer for Halo Combat Evolved has dropped, and, well, it shows us much more of what we can expect from the game when it releases. And I have to say, it's a real step up from the original trailer. The enemies this time around seem actually dangerous. They fired back. And with the addition of Sergeant Johnson's narrative as we move through the visuals, made for a really exciting and compelling proposition. I played this game first time around, though by looking at me you'd never know it, of course. And my overriding memory of the game was just a sense of wonderment and awe. A feeling that so many games nowadays can only dream of delivering. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. The PlayStation State of Play also came and went. And, well, the less said about that, the better. Talking of Sony, who can quite believe the mess that they've created around Destiny 2? For some inconceivable reason, amongst all the other bad decisions that they've made, they've managed to make another. They're shutting down Destiny 2. Not entirely, of course. They're doing what they need to do to keep the game in a playable state. And it occurs to me, with a myriad of changes that are being made, with all the various bits and pieces of information that's coming out of the studio to tell us what direction the game is going to go in as it reaches the last stages of its live service status, something occurred to me. All these changes seem to even everything out. They seem to be making the game a much fairer and welcoming place to be. And I couldn't help but think, whilst watching the various content creators talk about the mess that Destiny 2 currently finds itself in, that we, the gamer, are finally going to get the game that Destiny always promised to be. With the focus on continual live service instruments being taken out of the game can finally focus on doing what it does best, and that is being playable, without any of the hindrances and obstacles of monetization. But one thing appears to be coming true, and that is the hurdles and the bottlenecks that the monetized version of Destiny 2 has had to endure will no longer be there. My own personal wish was that somehow, if they could make the two-player raid experience come true, then that would be most welcome. And I know that rather defeats the original ethos of raids, but hey, not everybody can find 6 players to jump into a 5-hour-long engagement. But in the death of Destiny, we've seen so much life. The voice actors have all come together to give their own individual messages to the communities. The overarching sentiment being, don't give up. It's obvious when you listen to much of what the pundits and the commentators have to say that Destiny 2 has so much more to offer in terms of storyline, and that its premature death has done nothing but highlight how much Destiny 2 had left on the table. And I have to tell you that rather in the same way that playing Halo for the first time filled me with a sense of awe, hope and wonder, the community around Destiny 2 has done exactly the same for me now. The voices that have sprung up around the death of Destiny 2 have just filled me with a kind of passion, a desire to see corporate Sony kicked in the ass, An example of community loyalty that says to Sony as a corporate entity, listen here, we're not done. And you, Sony, had better be listening, because we, the community, are just not gonna stop. But as I said in my previous video related to this on No Access Required, everybody loves a good cause to get behind, and a petition full of thousands, tens of thousands, or maybe even 100,000s of names won't be enough, because Sony understands what the gamers are reluctant to understand, and that is names on a petition don't translate directly into players, and they certainly don't translate directly into players who are going to commit to a live service. That takes money out of their pockets when, let's face it, times are hard. But I can tell you right now, in my rather cynical and jaded older mind, I almost didn't care if Destiny 2 died. And then the community sprang up. And now, a week or so later, I very much want Destiny to not only survive, but to thrive. I also made the point last time I spoke about this that the only reason Sony killed Destiny 2 was because Destiny 3 must exist. It would be such an incredibly bad decision to shut Destiny 2 down without having its successor already in the pipeline. And no, I'm not talking about Marathon. Marathon is an entirely different kettle of fish, as Sony are finding out. I'm talking about the only successor to Destiny that there can possibly be, and that is either the continuation of Destiny 2 or Destiny 3. And there's been all kinds of speculation surrounding Destiny 2, Destiny 3, and I threw my 2 pennies in, and hey, well, there it is. We all love to speculate. I can't believe that Sony will have done this without having some of Destiny 3 in the works. I can't quite bring myself to believe that a corporate entity that concerns itself with gaming has done this thing without having a plan B, C, D, or even E. Is it possible that they miscalculated so badly that they just thought that spoon-feeding us Marathon would be enough? That we would be grateful? No, we're not grateful. Over the last few years, particularly in gaming, it's become clear that the people who build these communities around these corporate offerings become and evolve into their own thing. The game may have been born of a corporate desire to produce a work of art which would make money on an ongoing basis, but the people who play these games, they're the ones who make them special. They're the ones who make them real. They're the ones who imbue the game with a life that the developers hoped for. And a testament to this is the voice actors who've come out and given their own opinions. The bottom line is simple. Good stories are about people. Everything that gaming is should be around people and not around the mighty dollar. It's a fine line to walk, and Destiny 2 did a pretty good job of walking it. And so to the community who are fighting valiantly as they should, as their guardians would do to keep this game alive, to save a life, I say, rise up, guardians. Your time is now. Do let me know what you think in the comments below. Do like, subscribe and share. It really would help the channel. And until next time, bye-bye.